Yeah, I first started teaching ELD about 4 years ago, and one of the ELD teachers in Southern California had told me of everything you can do if you do ListenWise. I have found that the students who do it consistently are raising their listening comprehension scores on the LPAC. So the LPAC is the test that English learners take to show that they are English fluent, or at least tell their English language level. And so once she told me that, we got it for our school. And then the more and more I learn about ListenWise, and I feel like I'm still learning more, I love it even more. And we're going to get to it in a little bit. But once I saw the data and how, kind of like Harris was saying, that there's so much done for you that you don't have to do all that like prep work in getting these lessons ready. And then the data to guide that, I was sold. So here's just an example of the data. As you can see, I focus on the ones that have the pre-done multiple choice quizzes. I've also done ones in the past where they have written, but I find as a teacher, like going back and making sure you give feedback on all of them, this gives them immediate feedback. And so this is one of my students. As you can see, it breaks down like the literal questions, the vocabulary, the main idea and inference. So the more that they take, I can see, okay, the student needs to focus on main idea. That is what he's missing. Even inference, he only has one question in inference that he got right, but might need to work on that as well. But to me, this was so wonderful to show them. So I would call the student up and say, hey, look at your data. Look at what areas do you think we need to practice and what do you need to focus on? And they were able to see it and then go back. And when they got to those questions, kind of take that extra time. You can go to the next one because it's just a similar page. So again, this is just another student who a little bit lower on the main idea. And it's also color coded, as you can see. If it's red, it's the lowest. Green means you're doing great, and yellow is like they're right in the middle. So again, I use this data not just for myself, but also to show students, hey, you're really good at vocabulary. You really know how to use context clues. Great job. Give them the encouragement, but also, okay, let's work on main idea. Like we're going to have this, some tests on this and practice. This is what, if you want, to pass the LPAC, which my students do, then they know what they can focus on. I was talking about the stamina of reading. I love that you can have the script. And so I feel like for my level learners, they have the script and they listen. So they're not only hearing the words in context and how they're spoken, but it is taking a little of that lift off of we can practice inference and we can practice main idea without it being just solely reading, which is just, again, it exhausts them oftentimes. And so I really love that. And I love the idea of like bringing that away. But for this time, sometimes too, my students will choose just to read it. And that's another thing, like even though it's ListenWise, you can use it as reading comprehension as well, because really those skills are the same with whether you're listening or reading.